Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're doing the fourth installment of the Knights Rebels MC series reviews. If you have not read the first three books, please go back and read those before reading this one, as there are obviously going to be spoilers. So book 4 is Infatuation. Once again, with the black and white cover, and River Savage's name is in a very pretty blue in this one. So this is the story of Beau McIntyre and Mackenzie Morre. So Beau McIntyre you've met in previous stories, although his character isn't really severely developed in previous books. The only thing you really know about Cy is that he's one of Nyx's best friends and that he helps a group that helps women get out of abusive relationships. The reason he does this is because his sister had been in an abusive relationship. He had been unsuccessful in getting her out of it, and she ended up dying as a result. So, trigger warnings for this story include gratuitous profanity, sexually explicit scenes, PTSD, flashback scenes, abuse. There are a lot of depictions of domestic abuse in this one. And then there also is there's going to be spoilers in this review as well. I'm going to keep those to the very end on a separate part, simply because this is actually the last book of the series. So, and I know some people like to read reviews and then just have all the spoilers and then treat them kind of as Cliff's Notes and go, I don't have to read the book now. I don't exactly go for that mindset, but if that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do. So, Beau, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read this one in like a while. So this one, the opening scene that is extremely difficult, as is very common for these books, it's Mackenzie's flashback scene. It's a scene where her husband, the mayor's son, is calling her a stupid effing bitch, and you know, it's typical domestic abuse scene, and I believe it's also the scene when she decides to leave. And then it depicts some of the interactions that she had with Beau when he stayed with her at the safe house until it was time for the next couple to come pick her up and take her to the next location. For those of you who don't know, there is something of a modern day underground rail, so to speak, for people escaping domestically abusive homes, where say you have person 1 pick you up and they take you to location A, and then person 2 picks you up and takes you to location B. Person 1 does not know where location B is, and this goes on like at least 3 or 4 times usually until you end up where you're going to be. That way, if anybody figures out who person 1 was, they can't, no matter what happens, they can't tell them where you are because they don't know. It's built-in plausible deniability, basically. Beau has kind of wondered what happened to Mackenzie. He had something of a soft spot for her, but he had no idea, you know, where she was, and he knew it was safest for her to not be found. Now, as we know, at the end of Desertion, Mackenzie showed up at the clubhouse and everybody was freaking out because they know that she's the mayor's daughter-in-law. And the mayor's son has already been sniffing around and they don't want any more drama really coming to them. So, and they already have a lot of drama going on because at the end of Desertion, spoilers, this is why you need to go read Desertion first, they found where Belle's sister Paige was. She'd been a victim of human trafficking, and she had been held by the same guy for years, essentially the entire time she was gone. There, you find out there had been something of a rescue attempt, and she had been retrieved. They never bring Paige into the actual story. You never meet Paige as a character. You hear from Belle and from Jesse and from the people around you what was going on with her and the fact that she's making progress and how difficult things are for her. So they have that going on. And now here's the mayor's daughter-in-law. The mayor's son is gone missing. Nobody knows what's going on. They're trying to get answers out of Mackenzie, and she is very close-lipped. She does not want to say what happened. They know something happened. It's implied that her husband found her, but she won't talk about it. And she basically implies that she needs their help, which she does, but she implies that she needs their help for a different reason than what she really does need it. She ends up staying with Beau at his house, and the two of them had an attraction starting off, but obviously, there were a lot of difficulties there. And then you find out that Beau is actually something of a sexual dominant, and that could be something of a problem, particularly with a woman who is a survivor of domestic abuse. So that creates some problems. And Beau likes to be in control of most situations. Like, he's not a bad person about it. He's not, abusive about it. But he's scared that the way he naturally is would be too much for her, and she would basically crumble. Eventually, the reason why she needed the MC comes out. People are not very happy with her because she essentially lied to them. It was a lie of omission. It puts them in a situation where now they don't know what to do. The mayor's been breathing down their necks trying to figure out where his son went, and he knows that his daughter-in-law is staying with them. And this whole time, Beau has this side project he's doing with Kelly, who's another member's wife. The member's name is Brooks. Kelly had survived an abusive relationship before she met Brooks, and Brooks is considerably older than her, but they fell in love, got married, and had their daughter. Men that the mayor had sent to talk to Beau basically ended up hurting Kelly while trying to get information from Beau, which is what led to the MC confronting Mackenzie to find out what happened. So it's really difficult to talk about it because a lot of the story is actually the personal growth of each character. So, and a lot of it is like internalization on Mackenzie's part. So a lot of it will come out when I get to the spoilers at the end of the book, at the end of the review. So I liked Beau as a character. So Jesse is my favorite guy from the MC, but I liked Beau as a lead much better because the entire time his concern with Mackenzie wasn't about whether it was going to mess with his lifestyle, whether or not she was going to live up to his expectations. His concern was, I'm going to be too much for her. She's fragile. She's broken. If I were to do what I want to do with her, it could break her. And she deserves so much more than that. And granted, that is an element of taking away her choice. But when she does persist and say, I do want to be with you, I do want to try at the very least. And he was very adamant with her. He said, if we try this, at any time, if you are even just a little unsure, you have to tell me. Point blank, that's it. You have to tell me so I can stop. Because I don't want to cause you any more harm. So he was very much about protecting her and doing what he thought would be right for her. Mackenzie obviously is recovering from her abusive relationship, and she is hiding a secret, and she's scared what's going to happen to her. She's scared of what's going to happen to the MC if the secret comes out. So the Nice Rebels go up to where her apartment had been in the city she had been in. They meet her boss at the job she worked, and he kind of gives them some cryptic comments here and there, but basically the comments come to the problem's been dealt with and tell Mackenzie everything's fine, essentially. So, and the end of the book is the end of the series, but not really, because there was actually meant to be a 5th book. I actually looked at the author's page on Facebook, and there is a 5th book. There was promotional pictures of the 5th book along with the others. So there's meant to be another book. I don't know why it wasn't released. I don't know if it's ever going to be released. But if having any sort of loose ends is something that irritates the crap out of you, then I do not recommend reading it or reading the story. So, spoiler territory. So you find out that Jesse and Belle are getting married. That's cool. You find out that when Kelly wakes up from her coma, she has amnesia to an extent. So that, of course, created some conflict. When the MC confronted Mackenzie about what happened when the mayor's son found her, it comes out that she basically killed him. She killed him. He's never coming back. And her boss, the man who had been her boss in the city, had apparently been a special forces guy, and basically took care of it in a way where no one's ever going to implicate her, no one's ever going to implicate him, no one's ever going to implicate the MC. The mayor is still kind of wanting the MC's blood, so to speak, but there's not much he can do at this point. The end of the book, the very ending chapter, is Beau and Mackenzie's wedding. And this is where the opening for what would have been the 5th book comes. Beau and Kelly get into something of an argument, and he's telling her, he's like, I'm trying to be patient here. I understand that you don't necessarily remember who I am. I understand that, but I need you to at least try for our daughter. And she basically comes back with, well, what if I don't want to try? I mean, she's a very different woman. So, again, if you are someone who doesn't like the idea of loose ends that may not ever be addressed, then maybe don't read it. Maybe just stick with the ending from Desertion. Or whenever you see a mention of Brooks and Kelly in the last chapter, just kind of ignore it. Or see if you can figure out in your head what you think happened. But that is the last the last full-length book from the Knights Rebels MC. And then, of course, there are the novellas as well. I honestly don't remember if I tagged the novellas into any of the other reviews or not. I'll go back and rewatch them. If I have not, then I will do the reviews for them as well. It'll probably be the same video. And if I have, then obviously I won't have to address it, and we'll just move on to the next series. I hope you found this review series helpful in deciding whether or not you would like to read the Knights Rebels series. I hope that there weren't too many spoilers for you on this last part. But I did give you fair warning. So from here, we're going to be starting on probably the Three Sisters trilogy from Nora Roberts. Just because we're going to be getting started with Hauntober, and it's a story of descendants of witches. So what can be more Hauntoberish than that? Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.